I hope everything's turned on because I'm about to start a video. Alright, welcome back to My Life with Plants. I'm Newman, and today you can see I'm surrounded by some of my plants here that I grow in the home, and you may see some other things here. Anyway, what we're going to talk about is maintaining healthy, steady growing plants. They can withstand a lot of, well, heat and stress and all of that. And what I'm about to talk about now or share with you is pretty important, especially where I'm living here in Japan, where we can have excruciatingly hot weather. It's about 37 degrees today, and if I was to step outside I'd be drowned in sweat and feeling groggy, and I'd probably have to take 2 liters of water, and I'll probably drink that in no time at all. And plus we have very high humidity here in the summer, and it's overall even hotter than a lot of these plants can really withstand in their native habitat, besides cacti, which I do grow out on the balcony. And if you think that's hot, out on that balcony out there, it's about 43 degrees daily. And those plants have to put up with a lot. And there's just certain things that you really need to do for your plants to be able to grow them healthy and strong and disease resistant, because what you see a lot on the TV or on YouTube are a lot of plants suffering from diseases and from pests and a lot of problems like that. But what that all basically boils down to is one thing, and that's what you give them. So, including yourself, what you eat determines how healthy you are and how much you can function well, whether it's using your brain or your energy or your blood sugars, the way that your body digests food and stuff like that, your digestion system, your skin, your overall well-being and all of that, okay? And all of those particular minerals that we take in, that our body magically can distribute in our body, is what plants generally need too. And that's where it gets a bit tricky. But today I'm going to make it pretty straightforward, and we are going to start with looking at some plants to get a general idea. And I got a variety here. I got something that's a succulent, something within an orchid family, and something that comes from down in pretty cool tropical jungles. So we're going to start off with this Miltonia. This Miltonia has just come into bud now, and it's already developed its root system. What it is doing right now is just concentrating on taking up enough nutrients to stay healthy and survive the harsh hot summers, especially indoors, where in the other room there it's 35 degrees, which is extremely hot. But how does this plant get through it? Well, it needs certain things. Next we have something that's doing exceptionally well, and this is a Dracaena sulcarosa. That also needs certain minerals and vitamins and essential things to survive. Over here we have a succulent, which is a miniature Sansevieria Dracaena. It also needs things to survive, even though it's got some survival mechanisms within its built-in survival mode, survival features. It also needs something else, something that's more delicate. You get a lot of comments about this plant, is Calathea or Calathea. This Calathea is one of the ones that people have the most problems with, whether it's mealybug disease, brown leaf tips, just dying back. But however, if you do look at this plant, something amazing is happening. It's producing beautiful new growth while it's stressed out, which doesn't make sense, does it? Because a plant that's stressed out like this, 35-degree temperatures, it's not even normal for its native habitat. This plant is an understory plant, and I do pull the blinds down in the room to cut all the sunlight out that comes through the windows, but still 35 degrees. That is 15 degrees way over its endurance. Down the bottom here, however, it has a great root system, and the plant is healthy and vigorous with its brown leaves. Next one we have is this enormous one here. So this one is a plant that really needs a lot of water. But why is it so luscious at this time of year with 35-degree temperatures, and it's pushing out new growth? So we're going to get to that for you right now. The thing that you need to use, and if you're not using it, I recommend that you start now. And before I go into a little detail with these particular minerals, I want you to know that they can only do two things. Number one, do absolutely nothing and you see no improvement. Number two, make improvement or make your plants healthier. They're not going to hurt your plants, and they're not going to do any damage to them. They can only do good, or you will see no signs at all. But as I've shown you, these houseplants are putting up with extreme heat, and they are still able to survive and grow new leaves, despite all of the harshness and stress. I mean, it is so hot in that room that if I was to go in there, I would just be drowned with sweat. It would be really, really hard. And the first thing I'd have to reach for is electrolytes. Okay, water's gonna do a little bit of good, just to keep me hydrated. But I'm gonna be losing all of my salts out of my body. And what are those salts? The essential ones, right? So water's gonna do a little bit. Also, maybe some granular fertilizer will do some good. But potassium, nitrogen, and phosphorus, which are all the building blocks of plant being able to do photosynthesis and root growth and overall, well, nitrogen is something that the plant uses the most to produce green leaf matter, and from my notes here, the phosphorus helps root, seeds, and DNA photosynthesis. Potassium is a big one because it helps with water retention, movement, synthesis, proteins and starches, and enzymes, and balancing cellular functions, enhancing plant health and stress tolerance of extreme temperatures and disease. But there's one more, and it's the super essential one, because when you use fertilizers, it does something to your soil and it makes it acidic. And if you're not really into testing your pH, there's one thing that you can do, and that's use your nose. Your nose is a good indicator. You put it right into the plant, and when you smell, you should smell an earthy smell. So if you go out into the plot where you grow a lot of vegetables and you have healthy plants growing and it's very friable, soft soil, and you smell that, it's an earthy smell. If you get some pongy smell or something off smell, that's a sure indicator that there's something wrong with the pH, and it's always through fertilizers. Fertilizers give you the NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, but they turn the soil into something inhabitable. inhabitable, sorry, for your root system, and also plant good plant enzymes, or sorry, not enzymes, plant fungi that really help with the root system to take up nutrients. Those fungi start dying, and beneficial bacteria will start dying in there because your fertilizers that you're putting in are making it slowly over time more acidic. Then what happens is that after a year or two, the grower will say, well, it's time for a repot. This plant is losing leaves, it's got yellowing leaves. It's generally looking poor with health. A lot of these plants that you see here very, very rarely get repotted, if not at all. I've had a Hoya compactor in the same pot for 5 years. The only reason why I had to repot it was that it was so root bound that it was 99% root ball. Other than that, there's other things that determine the health of the plant. Remembering that once the plant is established in where it grows naturally in its habitat, it stays there, right? The only thing it can do is produce offsets or seed, or maybe a bit falls off and grows somewhere else, but generally this plant is rooted into the same position. There's nobody comes along and digs it up and plants it into fresh soil. So how does it maintain its root system and its health? Well, it has the soil, okay, that's one thing, but the other thing is nutrients, and we provide them. But then we wonder why we're having to dig our plants out and repot them over and over again, and what's going on. Okay, so what that is that you need to start using and we have it written right here, Dolomite lime. Now this is, we can't read this because it's in Japanese. This is Dolomite lime. Now if you've never heard of Dolomite lime, what it does is when you apply it to your soil is it maintains a pH neutral, which is almost the perfect environment for your microbial life. It keeps your root system healthy. This is what this does. This is the magic ingredient that can make your acidic soil healthy again. And it works quite well. Not quite well, it works excellent. And it stays in the soil for about 3 months. Once you apply it, you don't need to apply it all the time. You shouldn't, because it'll still stay in the soil for up to 3 months. It contains magnesium carbonate, counteracts acidity, maintains neutral pH around 7, provides calcium, magnesium, nutrient availability. Magnesium is the crucial essential component of chlorophyll, enabling photosynthesis by capturing sunlight. Also functions as a central part of enzymes system activating and key biochemical processes, and helps the transportation of vital nutrients and synthesis of proteins. And how that starts to look is yellowing in the leaves, but the leaf is still green, got green veins. So this is what this does. This is the thing that you really need to use in your soil. And remembering that plants that are in a potting mix, okay, are greatly affected by what you put in it. So once again, when you put your fertilizers in, it's salt, and salt creates acidity over time. The best way to water your house plants, and the only way, is to take the plant to the sink or outside and to properly water it until the water's running out the bottom. You don't want that water to collect and you set it in that water. You want that water to keep running out the bottom as you are watering it. And you repeat this 3 or 4 times. You fill up lots of water, pours out, and you do this 3 or 4 times. That's to get rid of any excess salts that are remaining in the mix. And the reason why we do that is that unfortunately salts go up. If you look at a desert that has a high salt content, and probably a lot of those high altitude deserts in South America, and like places like Brazil, and I can't remember the name of them, but salt sits on the surface. It's hard to eradicate it. So you need to flush it out. You need to put water and let all the salts drain out through the bottom, because they float up and collect on the surface. Okay, that's what you don't want. You want to get rid of it. Then every 3 months you're going to put this, which is a 1/4 teaspoon. I think that's about 1/4. So I can't read it right here. So I don't have my glasses on. Does anybody else have this problem? Whoa, wait a minute. Getting old eyes. There we go. It's a gram. 1 gram. I put 1 gram into, actually I put 2 grams, sorry. So 2 scoops of this into this 1.5 liter bottle. Shaky, shaky, shaky. And every 3 months with that, I add 4 grams. So 2 scoops of this 2 gram scoop of this into that water. Shake, shake, shake until the magnesium sulphate is dissolved. Dolomite lime won't dissolve, it'll stay as like a powder, so you got to shake it right up. So what does magnesium sulphate do? Its other name is Epsom salts. Epsom salts provides magnesium sulfur, which are essential for photosynthesis, nutrient absorption, and health. They improve the foliage, color, boost flowers, and enhance seed germination. So this is, in other words, this is what is essentially part of a lot of rainfall that has about a pH of about 4. A lot of growers will use magnesium sulphate and put it into the water to create an acidic water. It's around pH 4. And why is that? I've been using this on my cacti, and I use it every 3 months, and the application is a little more. I think I use up to about 8 scoops of this 2 gram. So that's 16 grams in about 10 liters of water. When I water those cacti, what it does is it breaks down all of the hard to get minerals like sulfur and calcium and magnesium and other essential minerals that are very, very hard to break down. Once they are hit with this Epsom salts, what it does is it activates the availability of those nutrients to be taken up by the plants, and the results are really amazing. So if you check out some of my other videos, you'll see me talking about my cacti. I repotted my cacti into a pot that's one size up, and it's supposed to last for the next 3 or 4 years, or 1 year later they've filled that pot and I have to repot them again. Okay, so that is the discussion today, and I hope you found this interesting. So 2 things that I use are Epsom salts or magnesium sulphate and Dolomite lime. And Dolomite lime has been used for centuries or thousands of years by horticulturists, people that grow vegetables. So I recommend that you study a little bit more about pH and learn about what minerals do, so that you can keep plants like this. And I know on the camera that looks pretty good, doesn't it? A calathea, and it's getting its bum wet with 35-degree temperatures. If it wasn't getting these essential elements in its pot here, it would be doomed, absolutely doomed. So thanks for watching, and I hope you found this interesting. And I am by no means an expert. I am not a chemist. All I know is what I read and the information that I collect, and I always back that up with other growers or people that are doing the same thing to get further information or evidence that it works, and it really does. So if you are having problems with your plants, and what you really want to remember, that a healthy plant is pushing out new growth. Number 2, for a calathea or this streptophyllum here, this peace lily or other shrubs, is that when they're pushing out new growth and their root system is healthy, then you're doing the right thing. Unfortunately, they will still be stressed by their environment. So you can see this leaf has died back or crisped up from heat stress, but this plant is able to overcome it because of its good balanced minerals that it's uptaking, and the soil is kept at a good pH. So I don't use a pH meter. I did use one at the start, but what I found is that your eye and your nose are 2 of the best tools for learning how to grow your plants better. And that is it for today. Yeah. So we'll see you again next time. Thanks for watching. And yeah, I recommend that you buy one of these. Dracaena sulcarosa. You got to buy this. This is one of my favorite variegated plants. And this Miltonia. This Miltonia is a DQ, purple biwa, and it's really been doing good inside my house. And yeah, has beautiful flowers, unfortunately not so fragrant. And another thing is that thanks to the essential things that I use in my water, it's kept these plants healthy and going and strong. Alright, so we'll see you again next time. Thanks for watching, and thanks for always watching my programs and taking the time to send me messages. I enjoy reading them. And if you want to share this video with somebody that's having a struggle growing plants, and they have a lot of trouble with pests and diseases, because as you can see here, I don't have any pests or diseases on these plants, then let them know about this video. It may help them out, and Another thing you can do is you can take it one step further and you can start your research today on these minerals that I've been talking about, and become an even better expert than I am. Well, I'm not an expert, I just know enough to do the job, but you may become even better at it than I am. But I've given you the good head start here, and yeah, until next time, see you, bye bye.